everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about different sorting techniques in JavaScript, which is of course super important for the interview. Let's start the selection sort. So let's say we have an array. We will actually divide the array kind of into sorted part and unsorted part. And initially we will assume our whole array is an unsorted part and our sorted part is empty, and we will keep finding the smallest element and move to the sorted part. I know you are i know you are not able to understand like this, but after we take a example and kind of dry run it, you will understand what I was talking about. So let's just jump to the example. So I'm taking an example and we have a completely unsorted array in this. Now our unsorted part is the whole array right now, and sorted part is empty. Okay, so now uh, let's say we are starting our iteration. We have the first element 5. Now let's say I is here. Okay, now from all the other elements we have to find the minimum element, and we will swap it with the first element, because selection sort is about this, that find the minimum element and bring it ahead, find the minimum element and bring it ahead to the sorted part. Right now sorted part is empty. So here we will run a loop and we will kind of find out the minimum element. We got the minimum element as 1, so we will swap the minimum element with I. So here we will swap it in the next part. Okay, now we will move our I ahead. Now you understood what I was talking about, sorted and unsorted, right? This is the sorted part and this is the unsorted part. Now we have I here, and we will find out the minimum from this. The minimum from this is 2. So this we will not touch now. This we know that this is at the correct position. Now minimum element, swap it with I. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we know that these two are at the correct position. We will move our I here, and we will check if there is any minimum element here. So minimum element we will consider it this only. So kind of we are swapping 3 with 3. Then again I will move forward and minimum element will be this. We will swap it with itself, and same way for this. So this we have to avoid it, because kind of this is sorted now and we are swapping with its own thing. So we will see in code that how to avoid this, but I hope you understood, right? Here again we are running 2 loops, and in the first loop we are kind of in the first loop we are maintaining I. In the second loop we are finding the minimum element, and then after the second loop is ending, then we are swapping it. Let's kind of try to write the pseudocode for this. So first loop will be starting from 0, and it will be going till where, that we have to think. J, we will always be starting from I plus 1, right? So this is the reason I will be 0 to n minus 1, and second loop J will be I plus 1, because initially we are considering as sorted part. J will always start from I plus 1, and it will go to n till less than n minus 1, and so what I mean is I will be from 0 to less than n minus 1, and J will be less than n. So let me explain you this again so you'll be clear why we are moving from I till just n minus 1, because I will be starting from j will be starting from I plus 1, right? So this is the reason. uh, if you are doing till just n, then it will it will give you out of bound index, because then you will consider, if you are moving till here till the very end, then j will be I plus 1. That will give you out of bound exception. So this is the reason I is still n minus 1, and j we are starting from 1 ahead than I, 1 ahead than the sorted array, right? The sorted part of the array. And of course we are going we are looping, uh, we are checking all the elements, that if there is any minimum element we can get it. Now, how to find the minimum element? So initially we can consider our minimum element as I. um, so I'm basically storing the index, and here inside the second loop we can find the minimum index. So let's say array of j, if it is less than array of minimum. If it is less, then the minimum index will be j, right? So after finding it, here in the second loop we are finding it, and at last we can just swap it, right? Array of I and array of minimum index. I hope now you know the swapping code. If you don't know the swapping code, you can check out my previous video of bubble sort, in which I have explained how we can swap two elements of an array. I hope now you understood how we are setting two loops, from where to where the two loops will go, and the swapping logic. So it is pretty much simple. So let's start the code for selection sort now. An array, I'll write a function selection sort which will take an array. Later we can call this function with the array, and this function will return the result which we are printing it. Now let's make a variable for the length. Now our first loop was running till n minus 1. Second loop will start from I plus 1, because before that we are considering it as a sorted part, and after that unsorted part. So from the unsorted part we have to find the minimum index, minimum element. So minimum index, let me create a variable min, and initially we can consider that minimum index is I, and then here simply we can compare. If array of j is less than array of the minimum index, then minimum index will be j. So till here we know what is the minimum index. We just have to swap swap array of I and array of minimum index. So here I hope you know how to swap two elements. We are taking a temporary array, storing the array of I in it. In the array of I we are just putting array of minimum, and inside array of minimum we can put temp. So this is how we are swapping it. At last we can just return the array, and this should work. Let me run it, And yes, we got the sorted array. One optimization we can do is in this. In the dry running here, we saw that sometimes what will happen is, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 and j is still here, and minimum element we are considering here. Now it will run, this will be the second loop. J will start from this, right? I is this, and initially minimum we are considering this. So what will happen is, in the second loop we are comparing if j is less than the array of minimum. It will never go inside if. Okay, if it will never go inside if, so minimum will be I only, means minimum will be this only. And what we are doing is we are swapping 3 with 3 in this case. So this we should avoid. So this is the optimization we can do. If I is not equals to minimum, then only swap. Otherwise, why will you swap? Okay, so yeah, our code is done. I'll just run it again. Oh, perfect. So, the time complexity for this algorithm, we are running two loops. So, it's big O of n square in the worst case. In the best case, also it's big O of n square. I know we have done this optimization, but we have to check if the remaining elements, if there is any minimum element. So the best case for this is also big O of n square. Of course, we are not using any extra space, so the space complexity will be big O of 1. I hope you understood the selection sort algorithm, but I'd recommend do dry run with at least 4 to 5 examples if you are doing selection sort for the first time. I will guarantee you, after dry running on the fourth example, you will get this. Hope you understood about selection sort. If you have not watched the bubble sort video, it's in the description. Do check that out. Please do like, subscribe to the channel. Also, share the video with whoever is preparing for the interviews. It will be very useful. Thank you. See you in the next video.